So, what's up, guys? Oh, the sound is a little bit too much on my ears. What's up, guys? The Khaiza is back, and technically today was supposed to be like another stream, right? I wanted to do like Ghostwire Tokyo. I've just been like feeling a little bit of a Power Rangers mood. I've been watching like a Sentai season. If anybody knows Russia Sentai Tokyucher, that's like the train Power Rangers that I've been rewatching. So I've been binge watching that the past and also like other reasons why I'm in the Power Rangers mood is because, you know, like not directly my cousins, but I kind of miss watching Super Sentai Toku stuff with my like cousins every night, right? We always watch like Zenkaiger and Kamen Rider Revice, well, at the moment right now, but we used to watch some other shows back then, right? We can't do that because, you know, Ramadan, so of course, shoutouts. Let me go like rate the supers of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, right? And this is kind of like a rate the super that I've been like putting off for like the longest of time. Originally, I thought like, you know, there's gonna be like a season 5 of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, but from a few sources that are legibly true and very much like accurate, I don't think nWay is going to be making more content for Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. I think that they are going to be doing some other games in their category. Remember seeing a video that they're going to be doing like some NFT content, like a game revolving around NFTs. It's going to be like a sports like tournament type of game, and that you could win exclusive NFTs to like show off to your friends. And I'm just like, this is where it's going. This is where nWay is kind of like going with this, right? Yeah, which kind of sucks, right? Which kind of sucks because I thought there would be like more content for the game. There were like so many like rumors and like teases for a season 5. We were to get like some stuff like extra characters, maybe like Trent from Dino Thunder, or maybe some TMNT, which I kind of like put up on fucking Twitter some time ago. But I don't think that's gonna happen with like some of the news that's been like popping up with nWay. So I thought, you know what? Let me just do a Judge the Super or like Judge the Ultra or whatever right now for Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. And that's gonna be like a whopping what? This is a whopping, how many characters are there? 14, 16, 26 characters, right? For a small budget game that started off with nothing but like fucking toilet tissue and toilet paper, right? But now they got like more characters, right? We got fucking Ryu and Chun-Li, and we have all these like memorable favorite characters from the Power Rangers universe that are in this game, and not just movies and TV shows, but also comics as well. Lord Draken is there, like it's just everything you love about Power Rangers, and that's like a resonating feeling for everyone that's like who is super into Power Rangers, right? We just wanted like a Marvel style fighting game, and there were like fighting games back in the day, right? Like in the NES or the SNES, right? There was like Power Rangers like Megazord battles, like you could fight as Zords in like a legit like fighting game. But now this is like the legit fighting game for Power Rangers. It's a 3v3 style type of like game. Everything you love about like a Marvel game. Very punishing on like new players, but it is a lot of fun. I guarantee it, right? Once you get like combos going, once you get synergy going, it's like, this game is bonkers. This game is wild, right? So we're gonna be doing Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and yeah, we're just gonna be having a fun time with it. So yeah, I'm not expecting anything like I'm not expecting anything super fucking fancy out of these supers, right? These like primo starter like characters, right? They're pretty much like the de facto type of things that you would see like a Ryu Shinku Hadouken or anything, right? These are just like, these are the starting characters. Let's give them super animations, let's give them camera angles, and that's it, right? For Jason's, this one's like a 5. It's like Kai's fucking Ride the Lightning or Rising the Force from Guilty Gear, right? It's a very bare bones like Rising Force type of stuff. Do-do-do! Dragon Sword. Okay, I kind of like it, right? Just calls the Dragon Sword, uses the flute. Dragon Sword. The Dragon Sword does like finger missiles. I like it. I like it. Very iconic. Very iconic to the character, so... But it doesn't do anything like, you know, special. But I'll still give it like plus because it does summon up like Power Rangers memorabilia, right? It does summon a Zord outside of like, you know, the X factor of the game, which is, you know, summoning up Zords. But I like this one. It's like a fucking 6 out of 10.
Yellow Ranger power up.
It sets up like a sliding knockdown. You know, it's iconic because that's like the finisher move of, you know, Go Khaiza, where they set like the Ranger keys and then like goes for final wave. It's pretty iconic and nostalgia for that. It's very accurate to like the source material, but nah, I just don't like fucking I just don't like fucking Megaforce to Super Megaforce, man. There has to be a little bit of like contention in there, you know? I don't know. I don't know if that meshes well, right? So I'ma say that's a 4 because it sets up for stuff afterward. This super sets up for like hard knockdown or like sliding knockdown, and you could go for like, but that's like a 4 out of 10, right? That's a 4 out of 10.
You should run.
Yeah, it's very Hawkeye inspired, right? It's very much like a Hawkeye inspired type of super, right? Which I like it.
You should run.
Yeah, it's like pretty cool, right? She like dive kicks you, that shoots like 2 arrows at your face, and then shoots like the final arrow at your face. It's like a final shot. It's pretty cool looking. It's pretty cool looking. Like, I like it a lot. That's like a that's like a 7 for Evil Kimberly. Evil Kimberly, right?
On my mark. Maximum.
That's it. So that was it. He summons like, it's a counter super that he calls on his other Mastodon Sentry homies, like he's the leader of like the squad, right? And he just like shoots you down. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I give it like a 7 for being like how weird it is. But it is a counter super, so it's not really much like used well, you know? It's not that impressive. It is not that impressive. He just like fucking shoots your ass from a distance. That's like a 4. That's like a 4. 4 for just like being nice. He just like dive bombs your ass. He just fucking soars to the sky. That's it. This fucking monkey just like soars from the heavens and just like shoots you down, right? Yeah, that's like a 3. It has like little to no anims behind it, right?
You have been warned.
You know, it's kind of like a G Ultra. It's kind of like a G crit art from Street Fighter V. Power to the earth, line 'em up. But it is kind of like whack. So I give it like a 6, you know? It's nothing too fancy or too great.
Cat stunners.
Cat stunners. She just like magic pixie dust your ass.
Cat stunners.
That's it. It's like there's a little bit of flair at like the beginning, but the action behind it is just like, nah. Maybe I was just like expecting something, you know, cinematic behind it. Like a cinematic like super for her. Maybe pull out like the SPD like morpher and then give her the judgment time. It is what it is, so that's like a 3. That's like a 3 out of 10, you know? Tiger. Saber-tooth Tiger. She like, MVC Shinku Hadokens your ass. Which is cool, you know? It's a Shinku Hadoken, so that's like a 5. Shinku Hadokens are always, most of the time, like a primer fucking super. It's nothing too crazy or fancy, right? It's just that's how a full beam super kind of is in fighting games. It's nothing too fancy.
Release the power.
Release the power. That super looks so weird. Like, I want to see it again. So this bitch like dives into like a portal and then reappears on the horizontal side and then just like Superman's your ass. That one is kind of off-putting, like, not gonna lie. It's kind of like a weird like glitchy, and not like the game is like glitchy, but it just looks like a feel of a glitchy type of like super. Like, it didn't make much sense when it came out. I guess it's like, you know, that's like his ability to like jump through portals or like time portals and shit like that, but I don't know. This one's like a 2.
Light fire. Magical source, mystic force.
Yeah, but this super is very iconic. It's a cinematic one, so that gives it a little bit of a bonus, right? Yeah, I like it. It's a really cool super. It's very iconic to Udana as like a character. She does like ice shit. She does like the magic like M pose at the very end, hand pose. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. It's a good 8, right? I wish it was like, I could have made it like 7 because of how cancerous the character is to play online, because of like wake up buttons and all that jazz. But yeah, it's a good super for what it is. That's like a good 8 out of 10.
Hold it right there. Eat fire.
Now that's DLC money. That is 100% DLC, right? She does like the iconic like time force pose. Backflips, slashes at you, and summons the V handgun, right? Which, not gonna lie, I used to have like that toy series back in the day. I got like the V weapons that form like the V cannon, and I had all 5 of like those guns, those toy guns, and they make like a big fucking like meaty cannon. Unfortunately, I sold them. I could have like kept them, but no. You had to like give them away for charity. I wish I could have like owned them back then, but it is what it is. Jen's super gets like a 9 out of 10. I like it a lot. But what's your super, Lord said? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Chad, you remember fucking Doom in Marvel 3? Where he puts you into Human Blender as a level 3. This guy just does like Doctor Doom Marvel 3 vibes so hard. Summon the putties. Like, that's a 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10 super. You can't argue with me that like that's not a 10 out of 10 super, right? I remember a little bit. Alright, super time for Tray of Triforia. So this super is kind of like a utility super, right? Well, not like a utility super by the standard definition, right? It's kind of more like a mix-up type of like super. Because what Tray of Triforia does is that, calls on Pyramidas, summons lightning bolts on the opponent's ass, and you can just like go for like free combo. It's a situational super. It doesn't like come out like fucking Jen's or Lord Zed's, because it like changes positions every now and then. But it depends on like the situation, on like what you're doing, you know. So I give it like a 6. That's cool. That's cool. Another 10 out of 10. He pretty much does like a raging demon on your ass. He like does like the iconic fucking Shadow Saber, full power, Vega Soldo. It's pretty fucking sick, right? Look at that. Ugh. It's a crumple, and you could set up for fucking and you can set up for combos because it's a stun state. That one's like a solid 10 out of 10.
I need more quantum power.
Oh yeah, this shit.
Quantum divide. Quantum divide. Quantum displace. Quantum displace.
That was it. It's the fucking install super. So he just summons his sword.
Quantum divide. Quantum displace. Quantum divide. Quantum displace. Quantum divide. Quantum displace. Quantum divide. Quantum displace.
Jeez. Very cracked super, right? It's an install super that allows Virgil to do like crazy TOD combos at the cost of like nothing. A lot of the other characters in Battle for the Grid is a Marvel game, so they can pretty much TOD, but when people already like figured out what you can do with like Eric as a character, oh man, he was just, goddamn man, he was just like a pretty busted character. He's so good at everywhere. But that's Eric, a utility super. That's like a 7. Outside of like the startup items of like switching from gun mode to blade mode, it's a pretty good super. But other than that, it's a utility, so it doesn't do anything else other than give you access to other things. Oh yeah, it's pretty much like, it's a fucking Maximum Wesker. It's Maximum Wesker, Daishi style. That one is like a 9 out of 10 because like I'm a little bit biased like that. Well, no. Scratch that. Let's make that an 8. It's super basic, right? Because it's just Maximum Wesker in a different coat. But in the first version of when Daishi like came out, he had the lines of saying, "We are Daishi, we are unleashed." I'm like, I love that shit a little bit more because that's like a little bit of like that Venom pizzazz. She has one of the best supers, right?
Samurai symbol power. See ya. I am the red ranger. And your downfall.
Yep, she pretty much just like, she just pretty much fucking Marvel 3 Virgil's your ass. Remember that fucking level 4 super? That's a good super. That's like a 9 out of 10 super.
This is the courage of a wolf. Lunar Cyclone.
It's fucking Ken Shinryuken from Street Fighter, from the Street Fighter series, right? It is a literal fucking Shinryuken. I love it. I love it, man. Literally, it's just like everything about Street Fighter that's instilled into like RJ, right? Oh my god, it's literally crazy. But that one's like a 10 out of 10 for me, not gonna lie.
Let chaos reign. Circuit breaker.
Oh, there's like 2 stages for this. No. We gotta go for the hold down one.
Let chaos reign. Circuit breaker.
That was it.
And may the power
That was it. Yeah, that's Scorpina's super, right? Summons like a beam from her fucking like boomerang and then slams down on the ground for like half your health. That's a good 7. Right? It's a good 7 out of 10. I kinda like it. Ah, damn. Yep, Shinku Hadoken. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, right? It's just his Shinku Hadoken. The same one as in, like, all of the Marvel games that Ryu has ever been in. Outside of Children of the Atom and superheroes and all that jazz, right? But it's just Shinku Hadoken. Whoa. Yo, the screen shakes. Holy crap, did y'all see that? Ryu, like, shook the world. Yo, Ryu shook the world! Chill out! So that's Shinku Hadoken. That's like a 5 out of 10. Even for, like, a Marvel game like this. And he's like a guest character, of all things. But we know it's fucking Shinku Hadoken, right? It's a Marvel game. That's what Ryu goes with, right? I know what it is. Oh yeah, it's Street Fighter 5.
You can't escape.
Yep, Street Fighter 5 Chun-Li. Literally fucking Street Fighter 5 Chun-Li Super crit art, whatever, you know, like literal fucking like copy paste over from that shit, right? That's like an 8 out of 10, right? I wish it was something else, you know? I wish it was like, you know, the EX like Kikoken or like her Marvel Super where she like does like a raging demon in the air. But it wasn't that. It wasn't that. They just kept it at like the Street Fighter like grounded like 100 leg kicks finisher, you know?
This is it! Maximum ninjetti!
Yep, it's another install super, right? And literally gets fucking Mad Beast from Marvel 3 Jill, right? So when you pop this super,
Maximum ninjetti!
you have like, yeah, this character, right? He has like install supers. He has like Mad Beast mode. You could definitely do like TODs with this character. He is a pretty solid character. As far as like super goes, it's kind of like a 7, right? I could say it's a little bit better than Eric's, in my opinion. The little like ninja shit, the little after image ninja shit, I like it.
He's not just stupid, but big and stupid.
Oh, big fucking stomp, dude. This one I find like very comical, right? Because, you know, we have Power Rangers, right? And Power Rangers is not only like this team squadron type of stuff, but it's also like the Megazords, like the robots that attack like these giant forms of these weakly monsters, right? And we finally get that in the weirdest fucking character, and that's Poisandra. So she just calls on her husband and stomp. That's pretty neat. Finally, that they added like something like that in Power Rangers. I'll give like Battle for the Grid that. That's like a good 9 out of 10, right? That's a good 9 out of 10. It's very Power Rangers iconic. Yeah, this is a good one. That's another 10 out of 10. Resonates the vibes of like Lord Zed, but in her own unique way. So she like Dormammu's your ass, right? Dark Dimensions you, and dances with her putties. She says booyah and pops you up. Another 10 out of 10 super, right? Another 10 out of 10 super. That's it for Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, right? Yeah, we did everything like super short. Yeah, again, this is like a short roster, right? This is only like what, 26 characters, and that's like big words for a. That's like big tall order for a low budget fighting game that is, you know, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. That was literally made by like fucking string and glue, right? It went on to, you know, 4 fucking seasons with like other characters, right? So we got like a huge bevy of a roster coming from the Power Rangers verse. Not like everything that we wish for, but it's still awesome that we got like a Marvel style Power Rangers game in the style that it is, right? Characters can do so much shit. there's still more possibilities that can be like figured out with these characters to this day. I'm pretty sure we a bevy like a fantastical like roster, right? A little bit of like everything from the Power Rangers, not totally everything, but everything that like money could like, you know, ask for, right? It's just a very nutty Marvel versus Capcom style type of game with like Power Rangers cast that we know and love, right? And it's super fucking dope, right? Albeit, you know, it is low budget, so some of the starting characters don't have a lot of like wow factor or pizzazz that makes them really fucking unique. But the characters that like do really wow and pizzazz you do come in the later forms of DLC, because that's kind of like how DLC works for fighting games. When developers make fighting games, they're focused more on like launching the title and making it good as it is. And then when DLC like comes out, that's when like, oh, we could like focus on a character and make them really good and make their supers a little bit more flashy, and that's what like they did. But you know, well, not but so like the DLC that really were like 10 out of 10s were like Lord Zed's, Shadow Rangers, what else? Rita Repulsa, RJ to an extent, right? It's literally Shinryuken, but like the background helps because of like Jungle Fury isms. There's also Lord Shiba that has a pretty banger fucking super. But the rest of the cast are either like, you know, maybe like utility or like single action or like 2 actions or like summon the Zords, and it's not really that much to look at it for a viewer, spectator wise, because you want to see something a little bit more, right? But this is like Power Rangers. This is Battle for the Grid. Again, it's a low budget fighting game, right? It didn't have like the AAA budget money that like something that like maybe like Capcom or like Nintendo had that could easily like, you know, fund into, right? This was more of like a passion project by ex was it ex Marvel versus Capcom fans, or was it like ex Capcom Capcom? But no, let's nix that. But it was made by people that really liked the Marvel vs. Capcom series and fighting games all around. So they wanted to make like a fighting game with a beloved series that they wanted to do for like the longest of time, and lo and behold, we actually have it. And that's fucking Power Rangers. It is super tight. It is super awesome. I would say recommend this to like I would say I could recommend this to other players or like new players, but I don't know. It does. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid does have like that old school fighting game like stature, if I were to like call it, you know. And what I mean is that it's not like something like Guilty Gear where you can like jump in and play people around like your rank, right? If you were to like play online and like play this game. No, this is very much like, this is a fighting game, and it's easily like categorized as a fighting game that like you have to play it on like day one, and if you play it like right now, you're just gonna get ambushed by like sweaties and like people that already know how to play the game and just like totally obliterate your ass, right? Even though like I stream Battle for the Grid whenever there's like an update come around in here and there, but I felt like I was too late in the Battle for the Grid hype, and I was just like labbing the shit out of the game and was not properly doing online. And so by the time I went into like online, it was like, oh wow, this is cool, right? I like this. But when I faced like expert players, it was like, oh man, I gotta like face reality, and I don't think I could like improve my skills anymore. I could with like practice here and there, but if we're just like trying to like figure out like how Battle for the Grid works and like trying to do all this stuff in an online realm, then I would not like recommend it, right? It doesn't have like the Guilty Gear like online aesthetics that we all so in love with, like ranked lobbies and fight people with a similar skill set than you. No, this is like, you do enter ranked match in this game, like in other fighting games, you do enter ranked matches, but most of the time you're not going to fight somebody that's like in your skill cap or your like skill level. You're going to fight someone that's like above your skill cap, and it could be like enjoyable, right? Because you're learning from like a pro player, but at the end of the day, you're going to be like 9 times out of the 10 losing, and that one time you're going to win. And you're not going to have, I want to say this pragmatically and realistically, not a fun time, because, you know, it is a fighting game. As I said, like, you have to be with this in day 1. If you start at like day 407, right, then you're going to like miss out. People have already like figured out the game in like 2 or 3 months ahead of the games, 2 or 3 months when the game like launched. So you're gonna be fucking mixed everywhere. You're gonna be crossed up everywhere. You're gonna see like okied. You're gonna see all these like meanies. You're gonna be stuck in the air. It's not gonna be a fun time, right? But like, I mean, there is like a Discord of people that a dedicated server on Discord of, you know, people playing this game, and they could like, if you ask nicely, you could like, they could like show you around the ropes. Like, I'm part of that. Like, well, I'm like a little bit participating in that server. No. But there are like people that like help you out and like help you play the game a little bit. It's not like just always one way. It's just one way or the highway, right? It's up to you. That's just like me being pragmatic. But if you want to like play the game, if you like the game, if you have fond memories of playing this game, do it. It's super fun. It's a Marvel game, right? Go do it. Don't get immediately discouraged that if you get like washed or anything, right? It is a fun game, and unfortunately we won't be able to see more of this game because, like I said, you know, nWay's kind of like shifting gears to more of like the obscene side with more NFTs in their like next future projects, and a lot of like the guys in nWay that worked on Power Rangers Battle for the Grid have moved on to the next game, and so we're not gonna get any more content. I wish I was like wrong, right? I wish I was wrong and hope for like, you know, a Doctor Strange 1 in 14 million miracle, like how I always say in Marvel 4 circumstances. I wish that sort of like miracle can happen for Battle for the Grid and have like maybe like an extra character or like extra 2 characters, maybe like a next season. But you know, I don't think it's gonna happen, right? I don't think it's gonna happen for Battle for the Grid. No way. This game, I don't think it's gonna have like a second day in the sun. You can still run tournaments, mind you. You can still run tournaments for this game, right? But is there any more support for this game? I don't think so. Is there any more characters that could potentially be added into this game? Not that we know of, and pretty sure non-existent. Unfortunately. Sorry to say that, but you know, it is what it is, right? I wish there was more content for these like fighting games. I wish there was more content for like Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, because again, it's Battle for the Grid. It's Power Rangers. What's there not to love? It's the best of both worlds. A Marvel game, but with Power Rangers icons. I don't think we'll ever get something like that in the near future ever again, right? I would always like think up of like, you know, man, wouldn't it be nice if like, you know, let's say, for example, right? For example, let's just put this in a hypothetical field, chat room, right? Let's say that in the near future, right, Toei decides to, the Japanese like studio head honcho of all like the Toku related material, like Ultraman, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Garo, shit like that, right? What if like Toei like partnered with like Arc System Works or maybe SNK, right? Who knows? Arc System Works, Iding, you know, those types of developers, and announce our next big game after like maybe DNF Duel. let's have a Kamen Rider fighting game. And no, not Climax Fighters, not the arena fighter, but like a 2D type of game. Make it like MVCI, you know, 2 characters, or even go bolder, like 3 characters and an extra character, like a gem in MVCI, or like an assist or striker in KOF whatever, right? In like the Nest Saga, something like that, right? How badass would that be for like us Kamen Rider fans to have like a literal fucking fighting game that's all about like Kamen Riders in the style of a Marvel versus game, right? You know, that's something I always like dream up and like want to believe in, but you know, I don't think it's not gonna happen. There were plenty of like Kamen Rider games in the past, and they were pretty much like recent ones like arena fighters, but I think we don't get a lot of Kamen Rider stuff nowadays, right? There is one which is called like Memories of Heroes, and that's like a action like beat 'em up. But for me, as like a fighting game fan and as like a Toku fan, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider fan, you know, either or, I would love like that, like just fever pitch like dream to happen, you know. If Power Rangers can have something like that, surely can like Kamen Rider can, right? Or even like Ultraman, you know? Ultraman could have like a fucking Tekken style, right? And you could fight as an Ultraman against like kaijus and like alien malevolent creatures, right? How badass would that be, you know? But hey, it's just like an idea. It's not something that's like perfectly like jotted down in paper. It's just again a fever pitch dream.